Welcome to The Prize Inside. The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm learning that transition thing. I'm gonna be dangerous. So, welcome to everybody to the Prize Inside, the 1% Tribe Edition, where we discuss. Man, my hair is all kinds of crazy. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed it. In Michigan, it was like 70 degrees, and regardless of the rain or the wind, everybody was outside. So, and tonight, my day was kind of like that. It was like this beautiful journey of what we're going to talk about tonight. So tonight is called Beyond the Bend, and it was manifesting life's crooked paths. And it was inspired this week by Easter Mass. I'm Catholic, so we went on last Sunday. And this one of the Father Chris Ankley does some amazing writing. And one of the best parts of the church is actually reading his part of the newsletter, because a lot of times he writes so well. And so this time it was a really cool story. And I was like, oh my goodness, this leads us to our beautiful Mike Dooley Notes from the Universe manifestation, adding the biblical side of the whole thing. So hopefully you guys enjoy it tonight. I was pretty pumped in writing it. Hopefully it makes sense as we go. Tonight's tea of choice is artichoke tea, which is very good. It's very good for all body systems, right? And artichoke's actually one, herbalism wise. If you take it as a tincture, you gotta let me know, let a doctor know, because it's super powerful in a lot of different, especially for my males, a lot of different ways it can help hormonal actions as well. So, but artichoke tea, very nice. I like it. And so far it's so good. I tried different teas each time. The big thing is, before we start tonight, I want to make sure you get on there. It's called tribe1.substack.com. So tribe1.substack.com is a place where if you sign up, you get this stuff. It's a newsletter area where I can do some newsletters. And I've been doing them more often, starting to get into the flow of it, which was nice with podcasting as well. So now, I am sorry, the bacon smell in this house is ridiculous. Rachel's making egg bites. Oh, she's making egg bites with bacon in them. It's super good. And with farm fresh eggs, it's just killing me. But anyway, with that said, tribe1.substack.com, as we, explore this world in all the different health things, the thoughts, the toxins, the trauma, right? A chiropractic, innate lifestyle. I want you there with us. So if I come up with any cool newsletters, that's the place to go. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the Prize Inside. Look for this little logo in the top, over there, over that way. Look for it, The Prize Inside, a chiropractor's journey on Rumble and YouTube. Okay. Trying to build both audiences. I'm like 78, I think, on Rumble. Not so good. I'm almost to 20 on YouTube, but no one knew how to get to the YouTube one. So I figured out that, I think. And then that's where we have some cool videos. That's where you can get all the ones. If you miss something, you can go back and kind of watch and see what you can get out of them. Because we go over each week, making our minds better, making our nutrition better through herbals and, nutritional stuff. And then we have physical stuff. So each week we try to do something different. And so tonight is all about the mental game. So there is that. Oh, Julie's here. Oh, good. I'm glad you're liking them. It's really cool. Understanding, like what is so crazy, guys? So crazy. I know AI is something we're all kind of like, oh man, I don't know about that stuff, you know. Yeah, but the but what's so interesting is it takes some of the things it can do is it can take my like our transcript from tonight's show, convert it into a newsletter, and then I can read it and go, "Oh my goodness, this is good, this is good, this is bad, whatever." Right? And so, wow. It's like, but it puts it together in minutes versus, I call it, I'm listening to this book and it makes total sense. A whirlwind. Okay. So when I'm in my chiropractic mode, it's a whirlwind. It's busy all the time, those kind of things. It's hard to get to everything I want to do. And so maybe AI is a manifestation of many of us that have a lot. I hope we have some good things to say and see how it goes. So I'm pretty excited though. I don't know if you guys know that I have an invention hobby. So I have an invention hobby. I've patented a carpal tunnel brace actually. Um, but I do think I call myself, we're kind of like guys like me are serial inventors. We invent a lot of stuff to see what sticks, right? And I'm pretty pumped about this next one is a card game. So I'll keep you posted because it's kind of in the lines of what we like to do. But with that said, don't forget to subscribe, like, thumbs up, do all those things. It gets me more reach. And all the big channels, all the big channels that are secretly watching, just give me a thumbs up at least. I don't care if you take the stuff that we talk about, it does not matter to me. As long as we get good quality stuff out there, it'll be great. So this one's called Beyond the Bend, Manifesting Life's Crooked Paths. All right. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is go over the story of St. Paul from the writings of Father Chris Ankley. Okay, it's Christopher Ankley. Sorry, he's super cool, dude. He doesn't know me very well, but I just love him speaking, and at our church, it's been phenomenal. Different chosen roads that they get in the way, and understanding where you're at and creating a life creates a life of new focus. Okay, so we're gonna go through that. But I want to tell you before we start, because I think these are good. These are good timings of where we're going to kind of wrap these in different. I would say different chiropractic stories that just stick with me over time. And this one's going to be the story of Shane. He was a patient of mine that it's probably about 15 years ago. I would say about 15 years ago. Shane comes into my office and his level of anxiety and his low back was out of this world, in a panic mode. One of the reasons is that when Shane came in, I was his last try to fix his lower back. And the reason I was his last try was because Shane he got out of prison. He was about 10 years in prison prior to me and him meeting. Well, he had a certain vibe to him that was still kind of, I would say, prison vibe to him, right? And so he was trying to get on his feet and get a good job. Well, a lot of the jobs he would get are, cash rate, under the table, physical labor type jobs. Not understanding how he's going to make it in the world. He was just doing what he could, once he got out. And me and him talked. He had, like as we're sitting there throughout, one of the things that happened was he was just in this panic. His low back had been horrendously, it was out. It was bad. In a chiropractic sense, it was pretty severe. When he comes in, I'm going, okay, so what happened? Like, do you want to go to the urgent care ER for pain management? Because he was in a bad way. And he looks at me, and one of the things that just absolutely sticks home to me, because I don't know anybody's story prior to them getting in, in front of them. A lot of times, maybe a little bit, not that deep. He said, because of the prison sentence, the moment I walked into the ER, they thought I was looking for pain drugs. I begged them to say, no, 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 this is not it. Don't give me any pain drugs. Just find out what the heck is happening. And they kind of shoot him away to the point where he was petrified of where could he go to get help. So he tried a different ER at the time. Same exact process happened where they didn't really take him serious. For those that don't know, low back pain and headaches are two major ones that go into an urgent care ER. They're also ones that are hard for the doctors to determine, if it's fake or real, right? Because somebody could fake it, low back or headaches decently to the point where they can go get their, Oxycontin or whatever drug of choice they really want to get. And so a lot of times there's already a bad situation with bad or back pain and headaches. And then the moment you tell them you're, out of prison for 10 years, now they're really going to start being guarded. So anyway, so we go through this process. I go, listen, yours is going to be a harder journey. It's a little harder road than most people with this low back because some people, get a very powerful drug or, those kind of things, especially how bad you're hurting. I know that's not a choice for you. So we're going to get through this, but I want you to look at me and say, we got this. We're going to get through it. And so from then on, it was pretty cool. We got him out of the pain. He's feeling good. He's able to go back to work. One of the coolest things is he started confiding into me and like how he doesn't touch alcohol anymore. He doesn't do drugs. He just wants to get back on his feet. And it was a profound thing because me and him were like, yeah, you can, we can do this. And I would just, we'd get adjusted and I'd just be the go get him tiger kind of coach that way. But one time, but things were starting to change for Shane, and it was pretty cool watching and just being the chiropractor in the room, like the fly on the wall. You get to watch that thing. So one job led to another smart guy, smart individual, and he just kept growing, and he ended up getting a really good job on like an oil rig in Texas. So he gets down there and he's making a lot of money. So he's doing really, really good, heavy work, really hard work. But he said it helped him keep his mind and he was able to physically fatigue himself at the same time start, really kind of enjoying life a little bit. The moments he would have that he was so fatigued, he could just kind of hang out and see that he could make it in the world, in a regular world. Well, the hard part for him, or one of the things that was driving me nuts, was he was in Texas. I'm in Michigan. He's got a girlfriend, but she was up in Michigan. So, but he would only get adjusted up here. So I'd only see it, every few months. He'd only trusted me to do that. So we kind of walked through trying to get him a chiropractor down there, but he was just like, once I make enough and I find a really good job up in Michigan, I'm going to take it because my girlfriend lives up there. So anyway, so he has now got a great job at a nice facility around our house. He is made it. He has a baby, a wife, all of those things. And I think the reason I brought that story up is because of the bends in the road. The bends in the road on him were pretty severe to the point of some serious detours, right? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the guy named Shane. We're going to talk about the guy named Jeremy. You're going to talk about the guy named Julie. It's a lady named Julie. We're going to do all those things. All of us have these bends in the road. We just have to know how to do it. Okay, so here is the story written by Father Chris Ankley 2 Sundays ago. Okay. This year on our Easter celebration of my church, I'm sorry, this is me talking. I had a wonderful message. It aligns perfectly with what we're talking about tonight. So I wanted to start with it, and it's wrote on Chris Ankley, started on St. Paul. So here's the quote. So I have a story about a man who tried running from God. His name is St. Paul the Hermit, a holy man who lived in Egypt during the 3rd century. He lived during a tumultuous time in the Roman Empire and heard the horrible stories of people being killed for their Christian faith. It frightened him. And when he heard that his brother-in-law was going to turn him into the Roman authorities and certain death, he ran away as fast as he could, reran. I'm sorry, I didn't do that right. Ran from. What does that mean? He ran from the call to martyrdom. So I screwed up his quote. Sorry. He ran from his call to martyrdom. He ran from his witness to God. In a sense, he was denying who he was, being a Christian, but God did not abandon him. St. Paul fled to the desert and found a cave where he would patiently wait out the persecution of Christians. His intention was to stay there for a little while and then return home after the persecution died. However, that's not what happened. St. Paul didn't expect to enjoy the silence of that cave and the solidarity, prayerful seclusion it gave him. He rather enjoyed spending his days in prayer and eating simply alone in the wilderness. He would remain in that cave for the rest of his life and became known later as the first hermit who dedicated himself to God in a solitary way. There's an old saying about how God can write straight out of the crooked lines we give to him. And it's true, because it's only crooked lines that we give to God. But God can always bring good out of our crookedness. He makes straight our path. God is always with us, even when we try to run from him. While St. Paul never thought of becoming a hermit, God used his fear of martyrdom to lead him into the desert for a different kind of martyrdom, one that would bring him to the heights of sanctity. God knows us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He formed our innermost being within our mother's womb. He will guide us to holiness if we let him. The last line of Psalms 139 says this: Lord, if my way is crooked, then lead me to the path of life eternal. Father Chris Ankley. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Isn't that awesome? The story of that entire thing was so good. St. Paul the Hermit. He was running from martyrdom to his next vision of who he was going to be. He ran from it, literally went the other direction of what God was calling him to do. And God found a different way to do it. It is so fascinating. And that's what I wanted us to understand in the manifestation of who we are in all of our different health and life choices. A lot of times we run from the choices that are put in front of us, right? So I'm going to go into a guy named Mike Dooley, right? Mike Dooley is the one that we talked about visualization. Visualization in his teachings, a lot of times we need to start looking at the manifestation or the end result, as you would say, the end result, and quit looking at the path to get there. It's not our place in this world to be able to just figure out the path like that. We have to have the dream, though. So we have to do that. But we don't get to choose the road. Okay. So these are Uh, this is the Mike Dooley quote. You don't have to know how your dream will come true. That's God's job. Just hold the vision. What are the crooked paths to your ultimate life? Who cares? Who cares what your crooked paths are? Because it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. And that is the craziest part. I'm going to tell you something in chiropractic that's just mind blowing. Okay. So every single time a patient comes into the office, I don't know if it's just me or or other chiropractors feel the same. I'll have to ask. But once we understand the innate intelligence of the body's in charge of the cellular healing within you, somebody comes in and they're distraught, or they have this emotion to something that's going on. So they have some kind of condition that's pretty severe. Okay. Understanding that is one thing, and being able to see that person and see where they're going to end up is even more glorious. So for us as a chiropractor, it's kind of this awesome knowing that the innate intelligence of the human body is going to heal you, right? Especially if we can help coach you into the right things to kind of help that path, right? That's why you come to a chiropractor, to see if you can, get that guidance you need. But we know no matter what the road is, no matter how crooked it is, there is a way. It's in science, it's crazy how many times, it's proven over and over again. Great example. You smoke for 30 years, every day, pack a day, let's say. You stop smoking and the cells regenerate after 2 years. You could literally have new cells form within your lungs. Does that even make sense? What if you didn't put oil in your car for 30 years? Do you think the innate intelligence of the metal of your car is going to regenerate that? No. We have to look and be inspired on just the cellular healing ability. We're like this subconscious AI. Every cell in our body is so full of good, all of it, all the good healing, all those things. We're the only thing, only the human body is one that can self-generate and self-heal. It's fantastic. My brother Ryan, who we'll talk to, I might bring him on just because now he's got a new journey. Kind of hurt himself the other day. And so he'll be going through a process, right? And so with that process, I smile. Me and him laugh about it in a sense. We know what he went through. It would hurt. And, you want the dramatics of it, but we think in different terms. We're like, man, I can't wait to see how you heal up from this. We're going to throw it at each other. And I know, he's going to keep the work going in his favor, right? And because he has a dream, he has these whiskey barrels that I got to push. If you ever want a really cool whiskey barrel, he needs them in my first sponsor is what needs to happen. Remember Rhino's whiskey barrels. Remember Rhino's whiskey barrels. I'll make sure I have a Facebook post for him. So I'll make sure before the end of this thing, he'll be my first corporate sponsor. That'll be good. Okay. So hopefully that's making sense to you guys. We don't care about the crooked paths. We care about your life vision. We really care about your life vision. But what happens? The whirlpool, the life gets in the way of your life vision, right? Every single time. Life gets in the way of your life vision in every aspect. And so that is the challenge of the world. It really is. Okay. Why do we focus so much on the crooked path and not a crooked road and not our destination? We focus on how we feel in that moment. We focus on our limited physical bodies. We focus on how busy we are all the time. We focus on how poor we are all the time. We focus on how mean people are. We focus on how this person on TV feels about me. We focus on what it looks like at this moment. But what if we actually focused on the destination we desire and more, and leave the other things to God? To let God and the universe take care of all these other things because I have a destination, and kind of laugh and figure out, the journey is this way. Why is the journey this way? It's fantastic sometimes, right? To understand that piece. All right. So we focus on how we feel. But maybe our vision of our life is feeling amazing every day. So start looking at, man, I'm going to feel amazing today. When I don't feel amazing, don't focus on that. Get to that place. We focus on our limited physical bodies. So we need to visualize that so that we improve that, right? We want to see ourselves, visualizing ourselves healing from those things. Good example. I hurt my knee. Oh, I have one. I broke my wrist. Okay. So I broke my wrist and it was horrific. It's ridiculously broken, like really, really broken. Bad. Okay. So I go through some stuff. I have to have surgery, all those things. It's good. It's bad. And it's so severe. I know in my head it's going to take a really long time. But my vision is that I want to do some square dancing. And for the most part, you don't have to kill yourself on the wrist motion, but it's going to help, as I go, I'm going to have a little bit of wrist motion in there, and I got to keep working it and just keep going. So I keep doing square dancing. I'm not great at it, but guess what? My wrist is starting to heal up. My wrist is starting to change. There's a limitation in the motion of it, but it doesn't hurt anymore. I can pick stuff up now. There's some cool things, right? So that is the power of being able to manifest beyond and look at the life vision versus what the entire internet wants you to do. Stuck on the crooked house. That's what Mike Dooley says. It's the crooked house. They're all over the place. Woe is me. I'm not there yet. I still look at the scale and it's still 10 pounds. That has nothing to do with anything. That's not your life vision. Stop looking at it. Did you do the things you needed to do to get to where you needed to go? That's what we have to focus on. All right. Then we focus on how busy we are. This one crushes people all the time. What is the goal for the busyness? What if this busyness is leading to the career of your dreams, your life mission in all things? This could be a great time. Maybe that busyness is actually what you need to get to the next multi-million-dollar property or whatever you're into, right? Or that busyness is going to get you the next art piece that somebody will just absolutely adore. So, but what happens is I hear it all the time. How's your day going? So busy, right? So busy. For me, this was the biggest mental hurdle years and years ago that changed my life. The one time, and my office manager will tell you, the worst thing you could possibly say is I'm just too overwhelmed or I'm just too busy, because you've just set yourself up. So, okay, you're not going to fit. You might be, but tell yourself something else, because that busyness is true. It's always going to be there. Like they always said, you can sleep a lot when you're dead, is probably a good, thing to say. In a sense of, the busyness is what gets you trapped on these little roller coasters of roads, instead of, why are you busy? Is it busy to retire? Is it busy to, hang out with those grandkids? What is it? Right? Sometimes the busyness is all worth it. All worth it. It's so worth it. Okay. We focus on how poor we are. What do you want to buy? Visualize what you're going to do when you're not poor, or quit focusing on that poorness and visualize the next best thing, right? Because the universe and God will line you up for those things if you can get off of the road less, get off looking at the signs. Okay. We focus on how mean people are. What are you making? What are you doing for the world? Right? How are you reacting to everyone else? Are you mean to them? Right? So that's another thing. We focus on how the TV makes us feel, the news, all those things. Turn it off. Focus on what you want to do to build and make this universe work. Okay. One of the things that I've learned, and it's very, very true, in all things, our universe wants to constantly create. Okay. One of the things I worry the most about my retired people is that when they retire, they won't have a lot of activities to do. But what I've noticed is if somebody retires, but they have a life vision, they want to do something, they want to create something, they want to make something, then they live a healthier life. The moment we allow others to do our bidding, so let's say you decide you're going to retire and you're going to sit on the couch and just watch TV. So you're going to be you're the consumer they're going to consume. Okay. So you're the whole thing is there's so many people out there wanting your dollar that they want you completely engaged in their world and that consumerism towards you. So the moment you sit and the instant the universe God gets rid of your health. It's guaranteed. If you are going to sit on your couch, then you might as well make an appointment with me, your medical person, and a physical therapist. Because your health and well-being, your innate intelligence of your body will not want to work anymore. You sit on that couch, you sit in that chair. One of the biggest things that can happen that's very troubling to me when I see these guys work 40 years to get to that moment, and then they sit in a chair, and then now they have surgery after surgery, is, like, we have to do better. We have to do better. And that is one of the things. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's a good one. Here's a good analogy to what life is actually about. It just happened here in Michigan. There's spring break, right? Spring break. A lot of people go to cool places. I feel bad for my daughter because a lot of times spring break, I don't love traveling on that. I love enjoying our road trip plus. So anytime we go somewhere, I try to make it not where you have to like sprint there. Hopefully everything works out where you're sprinting back and you get on time and you're not late. I hate that, running back and forth. And so my poor kids, we've done some good spring break stuff, but not a lot. We wait until like in the summer, that kind of thing. Now I have a college kid, a high school kid. Their spring breaks are so different. It's not even a big deal, but a lot of times think about your last vacation. The place, you saw pictures of this beautiful place you're staying. You can't wait to get there. Do you remember the road trip? Is it really bad? Not necessarily. You probably remember it in passing, a couple things here and there. But the adventure of getting there was fun, right? One time, we love staying in it's called Outer Banks, North Carolina. Beautiful homes out there. I absolutely love and adore. It's like these stilted houses that have then you go right outside. It's the beach, right? My kids, I wanted to take Rachel there because I wanted to go everywhere I went as a kid and thought it was amazing. So I called my aunt in this family trip. I was like, all right, we got to go to the Outer Banks. So because it was so fun to stay in the house with my cousins and, we were super young at the time. So we went there and oh my God, we had such a fun time. Well, one time I had enough points on my credit card I used to pay for like airplane tickets down there. And it's like, let's say it's like a 12-hour drive. It's not bad. But I'm telling you right now, my kids and us, and my wife and everybody, we have such a good time in the car that I go, hey, do you guys want to do a road trip or you want to, fly? We'll be there really quick. And then they're all, and in unison, all three of them, like, let's do a road trip. And I was like, so glad we did. It was a blast. We find the weirdest stuff to do, completely off the beaten path, to the point that was a crazy. That was one of these days. It's probably not a long enough show for that one, but how would I have ever said? So we're going down to Outer Banks, North Carolina. We're having the best time. So Rachel and I and the kids are all into gem mining. We love doing the gem mining thing. I don't care if it's a tourist trap. I do not care. It is fun, especially when those kids are that young and you get to see all these different cool rocks and all that cool things. I'd really like to get on one of these architectural or these true archaeological ones, one of those little trips. But when they're little, these little ones where, you have the little area of water, you got like the little river of water, and then they give you a sifter, and then you go through and you get the sand, and oh man, there's some gems in there. Well, one day, Rachel and I were like, all right, well, halfway. And Rachel would look up and we try to find these gem places or somewhere near there. So we were down in West Virginia. I'll never forget this. So we're going, West Virginia is about our stopping point for the night. We're like, all right, we'll stay in this hotel and then we'll go to this gem mining place. Well, I asked her, and this is the time. Okay, guys, this is the time when we have GPS, like Google Maps, all those things. So I'm like, all right, give me the address. She's like, oh, speaking of that, I go, what? She goes, this place said they're not on Google Maps. I was like, what? I go, who's not on Google Maps? He's like, hey, no, I had to print this. So she printed the directions from where we were at to where this was at. You want to talk about off the beaten path? Okay, so we find this road we had to hit, and then we go there, and then we go down this dirt road, and we go up to this fence. Okay, so we go up to this fence, and I look up there, and there's some kind of cottage cabin thing with a trailer next to it, like a motorhome type trailer. And it looks like there might be something there. It's got this little sign painted. And so I said to myself, there is no freaking way I am taking my children and my wife into this with a gate. So it says on the front, I go up to this gate that says open and then close it behind you. I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to turn around. I think we're deciding to turn around. Well, so as I'm getting back in the car, scouring the place going, this is what bad movies are made of. There's a car that pulls up behind us. There's this car, and then it's a family as well. And this family was from Michigan. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm like, hey guys, we're going to turn around if you don't mind giving us some room to turn around. They're like, why? What's going on? I go, well, I'm just not sure. I've never been to a place where you open and close your own, fence. Sounds a little sus to me. So the guy goes, oh, we've been here like 3 times. He's great. I'm like, are you serious? Let's do this thing. Okay. So because I had this other couple, we went in still, and we had the best time. It was this little old guy. I can't remember. I think it was Leo or something. And he got it all going for us. And we're finding all these gems for the kids, and we're having a blast. To the point where I was so excited that, guys, I almost sold it all. Almost sold a chiropractic clinic here, and we're going to do gem mining. Leo's setup was for sale. Yep, it was for sale. The price was going to probably be pretty good. I could tell that it was for sale, and I think he thought I was that interested. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we had the best time, and we would laugh about that all the time. I'd look at Rachel like, Did it not dawn on you? Like, if it's not on Google Maps, it's probably could be a trap of some sort. I don't know, but it was really fun. So that was one of those off the beaten paths. But how fun is it when it brings a smile to your face? Sometimes the crooked road is where it's at. So here's another Mike Dooley quote. The cursed hows are none of your business. I love that. The cursed hows. How are you going to get there? You don't get to tell them. You don't get to tell them how you're going to heal. You don't get to tell them how you're going to make all the money. You just have to have the vision, right? The universe has to handle the details. So you don't get to tell them, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds, right? I'm not, all of those things, right? The universe gets to tell you how you're going to do that, right? So you're the one on the beaten path. All of a sudden you run into Rachel and you get on her weight loss program, or you decide, hey, I'm going to eat better. All of these things have to come into play. You don't get to say the hows. The universe, our journey is that one step forward, but our job is to give that life vision, the gloriousness of what that life vision looks like. And I'm telling you from experience, to this day, this stuff works like crazy. Okay. It does. And one of the things we do, bringing it back to Father Ankley, is we pray almost for the wrong things sometimes. We have our prayers for, heal this or heal that, right? What if we said, I pray to feel amazing? That's a different prayer. But it's not focused on how do I get there, right? And so that's a whole conversation in and of itself, but we will do that at some point again, because I love this conversation. Don't worry about the cursed house. Just keep showing up for your dreams, okay? Visualize your desired end result and let the universe figure out the path. This is where the visualization comes. Stay in that mindset. Act as if your dream has already come true and watch the magic unfold. God didn't want us sitting around not doing anything, waiting for the bated breath of God to come in and save the day. You know when God saves the day? When you do stuff. When you actually do stuff towards that end goal. When you start taking the steps toward what you love. People think I'm nuts. It's like, man, you do inventing and podcasts and all that stuff. Yeah, because I learned this technique. I learned how to visualize. I learned this exact quote. Act as if your dream has already come true and watch the magic unfold, right? My podcast, I got up to 78 people. 78 people. That's not 2 million. Half those people are paid, by the way. Or they take crap tons of money and then they send it around. I'm doing everything organic on purpose. I want to see what happens. God will throw you those things. God will throw you the big dream, as this goes. My dream is that the prize inside, we have 1,000 people hanging out and we get to talk about all these cool things, in the health space at some point in my future. So but the journey is taking the step, right? You are a being of light, thought, and intention. Your focus creates your reality. Your focus creates your reality. Biggest part that we have issues with is the focus aspect, right? We don't focus on the right things. Things take away our attention on purpose. Think about the phone. People were so think about back in the day, there was like three televisions, right? 3 television channels, excuse me. So you have 3 television channels. And so once you left that television channel, you didn't have a phone in your hand. You had interaction happening. So sometimes you could actually probably manifest your dreams a lot easier back in the day when you didn't have constant interruptions of focus. Now, I'm not talking about busy, busy at work or whatever. Sometimes work, if done properly, is one of the best manifestation opportunities ever because you're moving towards whatever goal you'd like to do, right? For me in chiropractic, inventions could be me and a patient having a conversation going, man, this would be nice if, right? If this was there, or, those kind of things. Or, it's all of those things. Or like the dream of God put me as a chiropractor to meet all these people, to understand and try to figure out solutions to get the innate intelligence bigger, like, or more, less interfered with, I guess you'd say. And understanding that. And then he put me in a world in a time such as this where everything's trying to interfere with that in your thoughts. It's like every second you could be on a phone, right? Your toxicities. How's our food sources doing? Not great, right? And then our physical manifestations of the different physical things. Now that one's kind of cool because of the internet, a lot of times people are having access to things they may not have had before either, right? The road to your dreams may twist and turn. Keep your eyes on where you are going, not where you have been. Okay. So keep your eyes on where you're going, not on where you have been. These seem easy in theory. One of the hardest things to do if we're not doing a consistent practice of understanding how to visualize. So let's go through that tonight before, I keep going. So according to Mike Dooley, this is a quick scan kind of visualization. If you want to get deep in the weeds with Mike Dooley, I recommend his courses all the time. Very good price points, very fun to listen to. So the first thing I would do is pick a time in morning or at night. You choose. I do meditation in the morning. Right now, I do visualization in the morning, meditation at night. So I'll switch those every few months just to let my brain have those different aspects. So I visualize my perfect day. Now, what I do is I pick a category and I visualize that for a while. Right now, I'm doing it for like a month. I'll visualize something different. So right now, I'll give you my personal one. I'm visualizing when I start weightlifting, a lot of times I'll gain weight. And so I need to trim about 15 to 20 pounds. So what I'm doing now is I'm visualizing that process, giving myself high fives, feeling good in my clothes. These are my visualizations that I do in the morning, right now it's in the morning, excuse me. Yeah. And meditation at night. So as we do that, I can feel, what I want to do. And I have no doubts because the universe is going to give me the opportunity to do that as long as I stay away from how that's going to occur, right? Rachel has taught me very well in how to balance that process out. Now that we understand how, like when her system works really well if you're not like working out heavy, right? But you have to adjust it a little bit when you start working out heavy. And that's what ultimately I'm doing right now. So it's kind of cool. Just think of that. Learn to visualize. 5 to 10 minutes is all you need. That's all the biofield needs. That's all the universe needs. It probably knows what you're thinking already, to be honest with you. Okay. So for my final thing tonight is my first thing is learn to visualize. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, the crooked path. The crooked path is, there's no other way. There's no other way, right? I wish it was a straight path for everybody, and it really bothers some people that in health, there's not a straight path. I'm sure Shane that we talked about in the beginning, he didn't want to go to prison for 10 years, right? But if he doesn't go to prison, me and him talked about, this is the biggest conversation I wanted to end with. So, he was like, man, everybody looks at me weird. They know I feel like everybody knows I've been to prison. I go, does it really matter though? He goes, what do you mean? I go, that was in the past. And God kind of put you in prison. Now you got you're not on drugs anymore. And you got this really sweet job. You're making bank. Got a wife. Kid's pretty cute, except for she doesn't like Dr. Jeremy, which kind of, he starts laughing. He's like, maybe you're right. I go, maybe the path isn't what we should be worried about anymore. Shouldn't be angry about the path anymore. Because guess what? You're in a really good spot right now. You're on your way to those dreams. But the problem is when you go look at that old path, a lot of times, are you going to be able to manifest your dreams by still looking backwards? I love that statement of how are you supposed to drive a car when you're looking in the rearview mirror all the time? It's a very true statement. And I see it all the time. This is what my parents did to me, so therefore my life is ruined. Really? You want to keep looking in that rearview mirror all the time? Maybe that's true. Maybe they put you on a path that you didn't choose. Maybe it was the wrong road, but does it mean your life vision has to give up on that? No, it doesn't. And that's what we have to get to, right? To really go there. I think we'll be better off for it. So let's start this. So tonight on our 1% tribe, what I'd like you all to do is start with a little micro dream. I'm going to start it and watch what happens. Twitter or something, Twitter or X or Facebook is going to start talking about micro dreams, guaranteed. I'm guaranteed. Me and you, all of us in the 1% tribe, we're ahead of it. I know you're going to, I want copyright. No, I'm just kidding. Micro dreams. So work on a little tiny dream. Look at saying, all right, I'd like to get up in time for work and feel refreshed. Get up in time and for work and feeling refreshed. That's all I'm going to do. That's it. One of the days of the week, not all the days of the week, just one. Just one day of the week. I wake up and I feel good. That'd be a good one, right? Or find something little. Find something so little. You're in a, let's say you're in a, let's say you're in a club and somebody's super annoying. Somebody's super annoying. You're in a club and it's driving you nuts. And this time you're going to be like, you know what? No, God put this whole thing there for this annoyance to be figured out in the club and see what happens. See what happens. Oh, Julie, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Tonight was very, very good. I appreciate that. And then our last one, but make those little small dreams start there. Don't worry about the big ones. Don't worry about the big ones. Those manifestations will come once you get used to the practice, right? But then this one is the last one. Don't hate the road trip. Enjoy the vacation, road trip and all. Road trip is where the memories are made, man. You can ask my family. The road trip is always the craziest part and the funniest, but the vacation's always worth it as well. But God wants all this for us. He's been saying it since the day Jesus did what had to happen, right? Jesus says all the time, if you believe strong enough, you could do this stuff too. It's just you got to get there, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week. Next week, so remember Wednesday night, 8:30, is Whole Health Weekly, where we'll go through. I think I have an interview in 2 weeks on that one, but we'll go through different latest health trends that night. But I'm pretty pumped. Working on some other interviews. Hopefully you enjoyed those as well. So don't forget Whole Health Weekly, 8:30 Wednesday night, and then another time Sunday night. next week. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me back some feedback, like, subscribe. If you watch the recording, hit the thumbs up too. That would be fantastic. With that said, you guys enjoy the rest of your night and have a great week. Visualize it having a great week. That would be a good one. See you later.